Hi, good morning. It's Christine Crutcher from Create with Christine. I am here with a Sale-A-Bration Sunday episode number 2. So it's January 2021. And today I am going to be featuring one of the level 2 products that you can earn for free with a $100 purchase. So I'm using the Berry Blessings stamp set and the Berry Delightful Designer Series paper, and here's the card we're going to make. And there is Wink Stella on the grapes. I'm not sure if you can kind of sort of tell here, but here's the card. Here is the stamp set, Berry Blessings, and like I said, this is a level 2, so you have to spend $100 to get to this. It's a bundle, it's a stamp set, and then there's Designer Series paper. So this is a sample of all the 12 papers that come. It's 12 by 12. It's on page 14 of the Sale-A-Bration catalog if you have the catalog with you, and the item code is 157613. And there is a ton of colors that coordinate. And for this live, I'm going to do a grape card, but I also have a bonus card with the blueberries, and then my plan is later this week for Casing Tuesday to feature a strawberry. So if you have the catalog on page 14 and 15 in Sale-A-Bration, it shows you can earn this free with a $100 purchase, and then it has a couple samples. This also coordinates with the Sweet Strawberry bundle from the annual catalog. So just a quick look at that. That's a separate stamp set, and it comes with a coordinating punch. And the punch you can actually use with the Berry Delightful Designer Series paper. So it kind of all coordinates together, and I'm going to do strawberry on Tuesday, but today I am going to do a grape card. So then I have a bonus card with the blueberries to show. So I'm going to point the camera down, find myself in my feed, and we will get started. Okay, so here's my card. I'm just going to make sure I can find myself in my feed, and I think this looks pretty good. So hopefully, I'm not sure, maybe now you could kind of see the Wink Stella. I did color in the grapes with Wink Stella, but I started playing around with this yesterday and just loved the purple Posy with the rich razzleberry with the paper. So it all coordinated so well. I was actually going to emboss this 4 by 5 1/4 piece of the purple Posy, but then once I got this designed, I was like, nope, it's perfect as it is. So I'm going to do my stamping first, and I'm going to bring over my Pierce mat. So because this is a photopolymer stamp set, oh, actually a couple things about the stamp set before I jump into actually stamping. So right on the front at the bottom, you'll see images at, I think it's 90%, and it's a 2-step stamp. So for the 2-step, you kind of have a more kind of like a detail stamp, and then you kind of have the one that coordinates with the inside. So for this card, I'm using these 2 for the grapes, and then these 2 for the stems, and then I just picked one of the greetings from the set to coordinate. Good morning, Janine. Thanks for tuning in this morning. So let's go ahead and do our stamping and get that all out of the way because there's a fair bit of stamping. So I'm going to bring over a piece of, I'm going to keep calling it Whisper White cardstock just to talk about white cardstock for a minute. There are new white products available, and they're all going to be called Basic White. So when I say Whisper White and you go to the online store or contact me to place an order, Whisper White products will now be Basic White. And I cannot comment because I still have a pretty good supply of Whisper White here, so I haven't ordered any of the new Basic White yet, but I will be probably later this month, and I can kind of comment. So let's stamp. I'm using rich razzleberry for the grapes and Garden Green for the stems, and then I just used the rich razzleberry for the sentiment. So I'm also gonna cut this out after with the second smallest stitch circle from the Stitch Shapes dies. So I kind of have a piece that's 2.5 by 2.5, and that's because I want to cut this out after. So I kind of want my berries to go down in the corner so I have room for my stems. So I'm gonna do 1 full strength, and I'm gonna do the inside full strength, and then I'm gonna do the detail full strength, but I'm gonna bring over a Post-it note to stamp off. So I'm gonna do another one detail, kind of right overlapping. But with the inside, I'm gonna stamp off on a Post-it note first, and then kind of come right in. And if you don't get it perfect, it's not a big deal, because what I did is that I then colored it in with some Wink of Stella. So just while it's a little bit wet, the colors will move. And not every grape is identical, right? So it kind of gives it a fun look. And then this side's kind of darker and this side's a little bit lighter, so you get a little bit of variation. Hopefully some of the sparkle is coming through. And then let's get the Razzleberry out of the way, and then let's do the stems. Actually, you know what? I have to do the greeting in the Razzleberry, so I can't have it go too far. So I don't know, with these stamps, you could do stem first and then the base second. So I gotta find my detail. I'm just gonna do both the details. And then the inside, this one I did full strength, and then this one I stamped off. Okay, not bad. Okay, so then let's do my sentiment while I'm doing all my stamping and I have my mat in front of me. So for the sentiment, I just cut out a piece of white that is 3/4 inch by 2.5, and that's to fit the "Wishing You the Berry Best" sentiment. So I'm going to go back to Razzleberry, and I'll show you why, when I adhere this down, why I picked this size. But this is photopolymer, so you can see exactly what you're doing, and that's why I have my mat here. Okay, so all my stamping is done, and let's get these out of the way. I totally need a bigger table. I was designing most of the day yesterday, and I kept saying, I need a bigger table. So I'm gonna bring over my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This is now available for $60 US in my online store. And it's great because it's so small, lightweight, and portable that it's just great for, like, even when I'm stamping downstairs at the kitchen table. And hopefully you can see, I think you can only see one side, so there we go. I think you can see this side, so let me do it this way. I'm going to cut this out with the second smallest Stitched Shapes circle. This is one of my go-tos. Okay, so let's crank this through. I'm sorry, I'm going to shake the table for a minute. Okay. So one of my issues working is that all my stamping stuff is up in our office, and me and my husband are still sharing this space. So he does music lessons online up here. So when I want to craft, I have to bring all my stuff down to the kitchen table if he's going to be home working. Okay, so let's talk about the I have all my pieces, so let's talk about adhering the card and the pieces to adhere. So this is from the Berry Delightful Designer Series paper, and it's a 3x4 piece of Designer Series paper. So why 3x4? Well, 3x4, if you cut all your 12x12, you would have absolutely no waste. So this is one of my favorite layouts to do, because then what I do is I cut on the 4-inch side at 2.5, and then I have a piece that's 2.5, and I have a piece that's 1.5, right? So then I can decide which one I kind of want on top and which one I want kind of on the bottom. So that's what I did with this. And then I have it on, I'm going to be putting it onto a piece of rich raspberry that is 3.25 by 4.25. So this is just a great design. So you have no waste on this pretty designer paper. Okay, so let's just put this on with a little bit of liquid glue. And then I'm gonna put some ribbon on. I decided to use the white crinkle seam binding. And I have a bow maker, so I just did a bow on the bow maker. It's a 9-inch piece, so what I'm gonna do is just glue dot this kind of over the seam of the two ribbons. Whoops, as I get my finger stuck to it. Okay, so let me grab a couple glue dots, and we'll put glue dots on either end. Hope you're having a great weekend. Yesterday was my creative time. I did design a Valentine sampler. Whoops, come on guys. And then I worked on these cards, and today I'm gonna do my Casing Tuesday card for Tuesday, and then I literally need to really clean my studio. It's a mess up here, and that's our office that we share, so it's just hard to find time when we're not, one of us isn't in here working, that I can kind of tear the whole place apart and clean and organize. So I'm trying to go ahead, since it's a new year, plan ahead, do my projects ahead so I'm not so last minute. So hopefully that will be good for you guys to see some cute projects that I've planned ahead and haven't rushed at the last minute. So I have my ribbon on there. I'm going to put my sentiment kind of off to the side. You could do at an angle, straight up and down. I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. So let's grab 2 for the bottom and 2 for the top. My lighting seems dark this morning, and it's pretty sunny out here. Whoops, there's 5. I'll put 1 back. So I hope you guys are seeing the colors okay. It's funny because I can lighten on my iPad, and then I can also have other lights, but then it also seems so bright and too bright. So I have those layers all together, and then I can go on to my 4 by 5.25 purple Posy. So I was totally going to emboss the 4 by 5.25, but then when I laid it all out in designing, the paper is pretty kind of busy. So this 4 by 5.25 layer just didn't seem to need the emboss. Sorry, shaking the camera a little bit there. Okay, and then I have a purple Posy card base that's 4.25 by 11, and then I scored it in half at 5.5. That's fine. I didn't put the sentiment on yet, but I think it'll work fine. Okay, I love this card. I did a happy dance. I was at the kitchen table. My husband's in the living room, and he's like, "What's happening over there?" And I'm like, "I just designed the cutest card ever." So, and then I did one with the blueberries, and I don't like it as much, so I decided to do this one for my live. So I don't know what happened here. I guess this is probably over. a little bit too much, and I lined, in my original, I lined up the edge of this with the edge of the 4 by 5 1/4. So let me show you. So I had the grapes over to the side a little bit more. So here's the original. So see how this lines up right with the border, which I love that. So here's the original sample with the grapes. And then I have a bonus card to show, and I still do like it. It's the same exact layout. I did change, and I just did the white for the 4 by 5 1/4, but still it's 3 by 4 for the designer paper, the bow. The greeting is a little bit smaller. It's still 3 1/4, but it's shorter because just this bountiful blessings is also obviously smaller than the wishing you the best. So, and then this circle, hopefully I did add Wink Costello to the blueberries. Hopefully you can kind of see it a little bit. But this is the second largest circle from the stitched shapes. So since this greeting, this sentiment, this image, oh my goodness, is a little bit bigger, and actually I cut off some of the tail of the leaves, and it's Pacific Point, which I don't use this color that much, and I really loved it because the colors match up in the designer paper. And then I stamped full strength in garden green for the leaves, but then the insides I stamped off to get a lighter color. And with this one, it's a little tricky because you don't want this blueberry to kind of overlap with this leaf. So I just practiced, and I made this card yesterday, and I already forget if I did the blueberries first and then the leaves second. I think that's what I ended up doing after I practiced a little bit. So let's see. Yeah, Janine, it's really cute, and that does happen. As soon as you see samples, you're like, oh gosh, I need to add that to my wish list. So anyways, I want to move on because I want to talk a little bit about my classes, and I want to talk a little bit about Sale-A-Bration before I close out the video today. So I have a card class. You're always in my heart, and registration is closing this Wednesday at 12 o'clock. It's Wednesday the 13th. So here's card number 1, card number 2, card number 3, and card number 4. I'm gonna go pretty quick on some of these. Let me grab my sampler. I designed it yesterday, and it's a 12 by 12 sampler featuring the Love You Always suite, and I'm going to be releasing it. It's going to come out this afternoon to my mailing list. So if you're not on my mailing list, please drop me a message or an email to join. But it's 12 by 12, and it's really hard to photograph because 4 of the squares have foil in them. So foil elements. So I wanted to give you a look. I know this is behind the glass, so it's a little bit hard to tell, but it's Rococo Rose, black and white, and it's got a little bit of Blushing Bride. And then it's got some of the foil papers. And yeah, so this will be coming out. If you are interested in further details, let me know. And you can also find the details on my blog at christinestamps.blogspot.com. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about Sale-A-Bration and the levels. So actually, let me grab my Sale-A-Bration brochure again. And so Berry Blessings, the stamp set in the paper is free with a $100 purchase, and it's any $100 purchase. So when you look back at the card that I created today, to give you a couple examples of how you could get to $100, if you were to buy the 2 inks, the Rich Razzleberry and the Garden Green, the 3 cardstocks, the white, the Rich Razzleberry, the purple Posy, the Wink Costello, the ribbon, a Stampin' Pierce mat, the adhesives I used, which was 3. I used the liquid glue, the dimensionals, and the glue dots, and a paper trimmer. That would bring you to $101 US, so you could get this item for free. which is a bundle. You actually get 2 items, the paper and the stamp set. And then, as a second alternative, assuming that you have some supplies already, if you were to get the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine at $60, the dies, the stitch shapes, you get circles, squares, and ovals in that set, it's $30. The ribbon and a thing of glue dots, that would bring you to $102.75. So again, those are a couple examples of how you could earn this bundle for free between now and February 28th. And then, let's see. Of course, I don't have my host code for January right in front of me, but I do have a host code open, and I'll put that information below. If you spend $50 this month on my host code, I am going to be giving you the 4 make and takes featuring the True Love specialty True Love Designer Series paper. If you spend over $100 on my January host code, I'm going to be giving you a free embellishment and a sample of all the Sale-A-Bration Designer Series papers. I did cover my January classes. The card class registration closes this Wednesday at 12 o'clock noon. And then my sampler class registration is going to close Wednesday, January 20th at noon. Another reminder, today is the last day to sign up for Paper Pumpkin to get the January Paper Pumpkin kit Sending Hearts. It's 8 cards. It's a love theme. And there is an add-on of boxes. So the main kit is cards, but there is an add-on with the boxes. All right, so I'm going to bring my camera up for the last announcement, and then I'll be signing off. So I just want to, again, talk about joining my team during Sale-A-Bration between now and the end of February. So you have to, if you have a wish list over at $125 or more, it makes sense to get the best deal in the kit and sign up to join my team. So what that would mean is that you pick out $125 a product and you pay $99, you get free shipping, and you would also pay tax in your state that you live. So just as an example from some of the products I used today, I wrote them down so I could get to $125. So if I'm looking down, if you were to get the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, the stitch shape dies, white cardstock, the pierce mat, the glue dots, that would bring you to $125. You have to get exactly to $125. So that's the hardest part about signing up, is looking at your wish list and getting to $125. And you're going to get 5 free packs of paper during Sale-A-Bration. So that's a Sale-A-Bration special. It's in the catalog right here. So these are new papers that are going to be coming out in our new annual catalog that comes out in May. So I think that's it for this week. I'm going to sign off. I'll have a Casing Tuesday project on my blog at christinestamps.blogspot.com this Tuesday. And you're probably going to see the same paper and this stamp set, but I might also add in some of the sweet strawberry stamps in the punch, because all that product coordinates with each other. So that's it for today, and I'll be back next week with another Sale-A-Bration Sunday episode. Let me know if you have a product that you want me to feature in my Sale-A-Bration Sunday episodes the next couple weeks. Have a great week.